10 Signs of a Male Narcissist. Toxic Ties has uncovered the truth about male narcissists, and it's not pretty. They are masters of manipulation, making you feel like the center of their universe during the idealize phase. You'll feel like the most special person in the world to them, but it's all a facade. The reality is that narcissists use people to boost their own egos, and they'll use you until they find someone else who they deem more valuable. Once that happens, they'll devalue and discard you without a second thought. Don't be fooled by their charm and compliments. If you suspect that you're dealing with a male narcissist, pay attention to the warning signs. Does he only seem interested in you when he needs something? Does he constantly talk about himself and his accomplishments? Is he quick to anger and belittle you when you don't meet his expectations? These are just a few of the signs to look out for. Remember, a relationship with a male narcissist is not a game you want to play. Protect yourself by learning the signs and walking away before it's too late. Let's begin exploring the 10 signs that someone may struggle in this department. First sign. Picture this. You meet a guy who seems to be in need of a little saving. He shares his stories of hardship and struggles, tugging at your heartstrings and making you feel like he needs you and only you. You begin to see him as a project, a person you can help and fix. But beware, because this guy might just be a male narcissist in disguise. He's playing on your empathy, making you feel a sense of purpose and mission, all while using your kindness and generosity to feed his ego. Even if he's not directly sharing his sob stories, you might sense an undercurrent of "poor me" in everything he says. This is how the well-seen narcissist operates. He makes himself your project, convincing you that you need to devote your time and energy to him. On the other hand, the grandiose narcissist is more likely to make you their project. They'll play up their own accomplishments and importance, making you feel like you need to work to keep up with them. No matter what type of narcissist you're dealing with, it's important to recognize the signs and protect yourself. Don't let someone else's issues become your burden. Focus on your own well-being and walk away from anyone who makes you feel like you're not enough. Second sign. Imagine meeting someone who seems to be everything you've ever wanted in a partner. They're attentive, kind, and shower you with affection and gifts. You're on cloud 9, feeling like you've finally found your soulmate. But beware, because this person might just be a male covert narcissist, and they're love-bombing you. This is a tactic that starts the moment they've identified you as a suitable candidate, or even a suitable host for their ego. They'll latch on quickly, consuming all of your time and energy, and making you feel like the center of their universe. The grandiose narcissist might do this in an over-the-top assertive way, but the male covert narcissist is more subtle. They'll still give you excessive attention, admiration, and gifts, but in a less dramatic manner. They'll idealize you, creating a fantasy version of you that doesn't actually exist, and make you feel like you owe them for their attention. During the love-bombing phase, they'll tell you everything you want to hear, promising you the world and making you feel like the answer to all their prayers. They might even disclose that they need a woman like you to help them achieve success. But the reality is, this intense honeymoon phase is not sustainable. After a certain period of time, they'll cut you off without warning or explanation, leaving you feel confused and hurt. In a normal relationship, the honeymoon phase does eventually end, but you still feel important, respected, and loved. With love bombing, the intensity is so obsessive that it's unsustainable, and the crash after the boom is painful. Be cautious when someone puts you on a pedestal and idealizes you. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and admiration, not one-sided worship. Don't let yourself get swept away in the fantasy and risk being discarded when it's over. Third sign. The male covert narcissist is a master at building trust and bonding with their victim in record time. They come across as super humble, kind, and trustworthy, almost like a dream come true. They ask deep and meaningful questions about your life, your family, your past relationships, and your trauma. They seem genuinely interested in your life story and appear deeply empathetic. It's all part of their plan to elicit information from you that they can later use to mess with your mind and emotions. The covert narcissist is a wolf in sheep's clothing. They are experts at appearing harmless and often act inferior to you, all in the name of winning your trust. They use the information they've gathered to drive you further and further over the edge of insanity. They'll make you feel like you can trust them with your deepest secrets and fears. And then, they'll use that information against you. The worst part is, you won't see it coming. The ultra-fast trust building and bonding seems so real and genuine, but it's all part of their sick game. Once they've gained your trust and have all the information they need, they'll start to show their true colors. And that's when the real nightmare begins. So beware of the male covert narcissist and don't fall for their charming facade. Fourth sign. It's a confusing stage when you're involved with a male narcissist. At first, they were showering you with attention and making you feel like you're the only one in the world. But then, something shifts. It's like a switch went off in their mind, and they start to knock you off that pedestal they built for you. Suddenly, you're no longer as shiny and new as you used to be. They start to lose interest in you and move their entire attention away from you. They begin to devalue you and compare you to other, better people, making sure you know that you're a disappointment to them. They might tell you that you're hurting them or that you're not who they thought you were. They start to behave in dismissive and condescending ways, leaving things around that they know will hurt you or bring up jealousies and insecurities. In this stage, their words no longer match their body language. They might tell you that they love you while their whole body is screaming, "I hate you." It's incredibly confusing and causes cognitive dissonance because the person in front of you no longer fits with the person you thought you knew. More and more, they behave in these contradictory ways, complimenting and insulting you in the same sentence, or acting empathetic while using sensitive information you shared with them against you. The contempt and criticism really start to intensify here, and it's hard to keep up with the head games and psychological tricks. You're left feeling confused, hurt, and wondering what happened to the person who used to adore you. Number 5. Gaslighting is a tactic that the male covert narcissist uses to make you doubt your reality. They begin by accusing you of flirting, cheating, and lying, and twisting the things you say to make you doubt yourself. They deny things they've said and make you feel like you are the one victimizing them. As time goes on, you find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, second-guessing yourself, and defending against unfounded accusations. You try to prove your loyalty and trustworthiness, while they are likely lying and cheating to find new supply to feed their needs. Gaslighting with the covert narcissist is much more subtle. They may act like they are trying to be helpful by recommending therapy to you, reminding you of how messed up your childhood was or your lost relationship was. They may even use things you confided in them as evidence that you are inherently defective. They flip the narrative in sneaky ways, making you think you're crazy. When you see that smug smirk on their face, you know they got what they wanted. They know they succeeded in making you feel just a little crazier. Number 6. Number 6 is the point where the male covert narcissist's emotional detachment becomes crystal clear. You feel as if you've been reduced to an object if you have sex with them. Suddenly, they become distant and cold towards you, as if they hate you. They start to lay down rules and boundaries that you must follow, but they don't apply to them. When you ask why things are changing, they accuse you of being needy, clingy, and insecure, and label you as manipulative. If you push for answers, they detach themselves from you even more, emotionally stonewalling you. They refuse to interact with you, accusing you of being unreasonable and causing them to turn off. You feel at fault, even though it's not your fault at all. They never loved you, they just idealized you as part of their narcissistic personality disorder. From this point on, they will repeat this pattern in all their relationships. If you do stay with them, they may throw you a bone here and there when their sideline narc supply is low, but overall, you will simply be a commodity to them. You will feel like you are being followed by a big black cloud, as their cynicism, anger, and judgment make you feel like an outlet for their negativity. Number 7. Number 7 is where the male covert narcissist becomes extremely sensitive to any form of criticism. Every little thing you say or do that they perceive as negative will provoke them, and they will see themselves as the one being wronged. It's as if they're always on the defensive, ready to lash out at any moment. They can't take any kind of feedback or constructive criticism, and they will take it as a personal attack. It's almost like they have a fragile ego that can't handle anything that isn't pure adoration and praise. This hypersensitivity to criticism can be exhausting to deal with, because it means you always have to walk on eggshells around them, and you can never be honest with them without fearing their wrath. It's another tool in their arsenal to control and manipulate you by making you feel guilty and responsible for their reactions to anything that doesn't meet their expectations. Number 8. When you first met him, he was charming, kind, and seemed like the perfect partner. But as time went on, you started to notice a dark side to him. He would constantly try to control you and everything around you, even the most minor details. He was extremely jealous and insecure, and would accuse you of flirting with others or cheating on him, even when there was no evidence to support his claims. Whenever you tried to confront him about his behavior or express your concerns, he would twist the situation around and make it seem like you were the one at fault. He never took responsibility for his actions and refused to apologize for anything, even when it was clear that he was in the wrong. He had an uncanny ability to make you doubt yourself and question your reality. He would use gaslighting tactics to twist the things you said or did and deny things that he had said or done. He would make you feel like you were victimizing him, and as time went on, you found yourself apologizing for things you had not done. You were constantly second-guessing yourself, defending against unfounded accusations, and trying to prove your loyalty and trustworthiness. Whenever he felt criticized or questioned, he would become extremely defensive and punish you with the silent treatment, insults, moodiness, gaslighting, and emotional stonewalling. He was always right, and any attempt to challenge him would be met with hostility and anger. You realized that he was very controlling and wanted things to be his way or the highway. He blamed you for everything and refused to be held accountable for his actions. He would do whatever he wanted, while expecting you to comply with his rules and boundaries. It was clear that he had no intention of changing his ways, and that you were just a commodity and an outlet for his negative emotions. Number 9. Dealing with a partner who has a concurrent disorder, such as anxiety, depression, OCD, or addiction, can add even more confusion to the situation. The symptoms of the disorder can make it difficult to distinguish between the disorder and the toxic behavior of the narcissistic partner. It can also create a sense of guilt or responsibility for the partner with the disorder, leading them to excuse or rationalize the narcissistic behavior. This can make it harder to recognize the toxicity of the relationship and to seek help. The presence of a concurrent disorder can complicate the situation and make it even more important to seek support and resources to navigate the relationship. Number 10. The most crucial red flag in a toxic relationship is when you start feeling like a completely different person. You were once relatively stable, But now, you're a nervous wreck. You can barely recognize yourself, and everything seems to be shrouded in a fog of confusion. You start doubting what's real and what's not, and you're constantly questioning your own judgment. In this relationship, your partner has convinced you that you're the problem. They tell you that you have issues, and that you're the one hurting and manipulating them. They make you feel incredibly lonely, isolated, and hated, despite claiming to love you. You're left feeling confused, lost, and alone. You don't know who to turn to or who to trust. The world feels like it's closing in on you, and you're struggling to find a way out. This is a clear sign that you need to get out of the relationship before it completely destroys you. Imagine you've been in a relationship with someone for a while. At first, they seemed like the perfect partner, kind and considerate, but as time passed, you started noticing some red flags. They were controlling, jealous, and always right. They would blame you for everything and never apologize or take responsibility for their actions. As time goes on, you begin to feel like you're losing your mind. You're confused, isolated, and feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells around them. You barely recognize yourself anymore, and they've convinced you that you're the one with issues, that you're the one hurting and manipulating them. If you find yourself in this situation, the best advice is to leave if you can. Dealing with a pathological narcissist can drive you to insanity because the person you fell in love with was just an act. It's hard to accept, but the true version of them is not the kind and considerate partner you thought they were. If you've noticed other red flags or have questions, please comment below. It's important to be aware of these signs and to support each other in navigating difficult relationships. If you found this information useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who may benefit from it. By sharing, we can help more people recognize the signs and take steps towards a healthier future. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell for more helpful content. And make sure to check out our other videos too for even more valuable insights. Thanks for watching.